Good evening and welcome to Dr. Melissa Medicine Woman. I am so excited that you are here with me this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you know, on this show, we talk about medications and your health and supplementation and ways to stay healthy and be healthy and looking at whole body health. And so as we start the show, I do have a disclaimer to read to you. So let me go ahead and pull that up so you can see that. And just to let you know, the show and all the content are for educational purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, to treat, to cure, to prevent any disease or psychological disorder. A specific physician-patient or pharmacist-patient relationship is necessary before any medical therapies are initiated. Please do consult your physician, pharmacist, or other qualified healthcare provider with questions about your medical conditions and before starting or using any dietary supplementation, herbal remedies, exercise, or nutrition plans. So, who am I? I am Dr. Melissa, the Medicine Woman, Dr. Melissa Balizan. I have over 26 years of experience in healthcare. I have been a pharmacist, yes, a pharmacist for a while now. I have over 52,000 clinical hours in both Eastern and Western medicine, and I have helped thousands of patients to optimize their medications and their supplements to what is most appropriate for them, peeling back unnecessary medications, unnecessary supplements, not just piling on another medication to treat the side effect of a different medication. So I do have a vast array of knowledge in both Eastern and Western medicine and helping you to really live your best life now, because you only get one life. So tonight, I thought that we would talk about love. And so as you see, the title of tonight's episode is 1 Corinthians 13. And I do want to go through and read that because I think that this is very important for us to understand that and how that does relate to our health, okay? Because it is something very vital for us to be able to love ourselves. And I think that we often forget that, especially as women, we do and do and do, and we don't always fill our cup up. And we have to remember to love ourselves. And the more that we love ourselves, it is not being selfish to take time to care for yourself and to love yourself. You are able to fill your cup up and your cup will overflow. And you'll be able to do so much more. So let's go ahead. I'm going to read tonight and we're going to talk about this, okay? So I do have my Bible here and I'm going to read directly from it. And this is 1 Corinthians. Now this is the NIV, so the NIV version. And let's talk about this. So 1 Corinthians chapter 13, if I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or clanging cymbal. So right off the bat, Paul's message to the Corinthian church is saying that he needs to have love. He needs to have love for himself. He can speak, but without love, it's not getting the message across, okay? If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. So when you have faith that can move mountains, that's phenomenal because you believe so much in that you can move a mountain. Mountains are pretty big and pretty stationary, but without love, it's not going to happen. So when we talk about loving ourselves and loving others, you must love yourself, take care of yourself, Love is medicine. Yes, and I'll tell you a story here in just a little bit. But let me go on here. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. So here he is talking about, we will give. So we give to others, we give to the poor, give over my body to hardship that I may boast, saying, okay, I've done this and I've done this and I've worked so hard to do these things. We say that often. I hear that a lot. I hear people saying, well, I have just spent hours and hours doing this. And so you've given your body hardship doing things. But if you do not have love, you gain nothing. So you must have love for your body. You must have love for yourself in order to be healthy. Okay. And God wants us each to be healthy. We're each his child. He wants us to be healthy and to love ourselves. Okay. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. What amazing qualities. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. How often do we chastise ourselves for doing something, this and that, or, oh, I should have done better on that. I should have done better on that. I should have spent more time on this, or I should have worked out more. I should have eaten better. Well, you're on the right track. Love keeps no records. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always preserves. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection, as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. The greatest of these is love. That says volumes to me, because we want to be loving. We have love for so many people. We have love for others. And so when Paul was writing this, and he's inspired to write these words, and when we look at these words tonight, here's what I want you to reflect on. I want you to think about how you're loving your body. How are you moving your body? Are you showing your body you love it by moving it? Are you showing your body you love it by feeding it nutritious foods? How are you talking to yourself? Are you showing love with the words that come out of your mouth? With the words that you think in your head? Love never fails. Those are powerful words. And when we talk about health and healthcare, and I have seen so many times in my years of experience, I've had patients come into my clinics, come into the hospital, and we sit and we talk to them and we see how they're loving themselves. We see the love around them. We see their family coming in and their love there. And as we sit down and we talk through their medications and what they're doing for their body, some love their body more than others. Some have loved themselves more than others. And so I want you to think about, how are you loving yourself? It is not selfish to put love into you, to love yourself, to talk to yourself with love. Think of the little child. How would you talk to a child? Would you always be saying negative things or chastising them? Think about those things as they're rolling through your head, because this affects our health. And as we are loving ourselves and we're saying loving things to ourselves, we're treating ourselves lovingly. This is huge. This is huge. You must fill up your cup first. Now, what does that look like for you? Does that look like spending 5 or 10 minutes doing something for yourself, spending time in silence, meditation? We'll be talking about meditation as medicine, love as medicine, taking time to love. Love has been shown as food. So making sure that it's nutritious food. Is that what you're putting in your system, the right thing for your body? Now, each of us is unique. And there are healthier options, of course, but what you're putting in, are you loving your body? Are you taking care of your body? Are you moving your body? Our muscles need to be exercised. Okay. Now, I don't use that word often because I liked the word movement, because people turn away when I say exercise. But our muscles need to be moved. If you don't move a muscle or exercise or utilize that muscle, then it's going to atrophy. And so we need to love our muscles. So our hands, there's muscles all throughout our body. There's also a big muscle up here. We must exercise and love our brain. It's an organ, but we must have that function of movement. We need to remind ourselves that we love ourselves. Sitting in silence, taking time to breathe. Time to reflect and realize that the greatest is love. Where are you spending your time? What are you struggling with? Are you struggling with a healthcare condition? Some things we've talked about in the past already, or maybe it's a different episode you need to pop up and watch. Are you struggling with your medications? Do you have so many that it's very hard for you to decide whether you take your medication or whether you put food on the table? These are choices, and how you love yourself, how you show up for yourself, and how you love yourself makes a difference. So remember, you only get one body. Live and love your body. Love yourself. Give to yourself. Take time to go for a walk. Enjoy the outdoors. Take time to be thankful. Be grateful for what you have. We've talked about gratitude in the past. Being grateful for the blessings that you have, from little to big. being grateful for the water that you're drinking, the clothes that you're wearing, the shelter that you have, loving your surroundings. Love yourself. There's another passage that I use a lot. I've used in my books. Love thy neighbor as thyself. So when we look at that and we want to be treated well, so we want to, so love thy neighbor as thyself. So if you don't love yourself, then how could you possibly know how you need to love your neighbor? So start with yourself. Start loving now. Start with one thing. Let me tell you this story. I had a client come to me and she was struggling with this. She did so many things for so many people, constantly busy, constantly doing things for others, baking things, mowing their lawns, taking care of her children, taking care of her husband, nonstop. She rarely sat down. Does it sound familiar? And finally, when we sat down and we chatted, she was so exhausted. She was so stressed out. Her body was exhausted physically, mentally. So we sat down and we figured out what was going on. She was giving from an empty cup. She was not loving herself enough to take care of herself first. So I reminded her of the saying, just like they say on the airplane, put on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. And they have to tell us that because we are creatures that will help others first. We will put ourselves last and we will help others first. And in the example of the plane, if we do not supply our own oxygen first, we're not going to be around to help others. So same scenario with this lady. She started filling her cup up first and loving herself. She set time aside to read in the morning. She loved to read. Just 15 minutes. 15 minutes a day to sit and read. Then she took some time to write her gratitudes, to be grateful, to say her prayers. She was able to continue to give and give and give. And guess what? She no longer feels completely exhausted at the end of the day. Now, she might be a little bit worn out, depending upon what physically things that she's done, but she's doing so much better, so much less stress, because she took time to love herself. And it can be done in as few minutes or as many minutes. Now, I'm not saying give up everything else. I'm saying work this in to your schedule. There is time. You have time to love yourself and spread the love and the joy to others. Now, if you are taking medications or taking supplementation, and you want to know if you're taking the right supplementation or the right medications, then let's have a chat, because supplements are not created equal. There are good ones out there and there are bad ones out there. Medications, there are medications you get put on to combat side effects of another medication, and that's not the right way to do it. There is a way to figure out what is the best medication for you at the time, or supplementation, Peel back, get rid of the excess, get down to the minimum number of medications and supplements that is appropriate for you while you're working on yourself, while you're working on your lifestyle. You're pulling in movement, you're pulling in nutrition, you're pulling in gratitude, meditation, other things that we've talked about, and you're able to help protect your heart, your mindset is huge. Start by saying, I love you to yourself in the mirror. If you haven't been doing that, that's step one. Then start with some of these other things. Repeat it over and over. Love. The greatest of these is love. I love myself. You're not being selfish. You're taking time to show yourself the greatest of all. Faith, hope, and love. Love is the greatest. So if you do want to schedule a time with me to talk to me about your medications or your supplements, or if you know somebody who's on medications or supplements and they don't want to be on them anymore, or they're trying to taper off, then let's do it the right way. So let me show you this link here I have for you. And let me pull it up for you here. My apologies. Let's see. Okay, so you can schedule an appointment with me, Dr. Melissa, at askdrmelissa.net. Go in and schedule your appointment. I offer a complimentary evaluation. We can chat and find out what is the right next step for you. askdrmelissa.net. Because I want you to live healthy right now. Imagine, what will your life look like in 5 years if you start loving yourself today and you start looking at what you're taking, what you're putting in your body? We have a chat. And then you imagine in 5 years, you're now feeling better. You're not a burden to your family like your parents may have been. You're not spending thousands of dollars in hospitalizations because you said yes to you and you said yes to love. I am so happy that you have all stayed with me tonight and allowed me to talk about love as medicine. This is one thing that is near and dear to me, and so many of us, myself included, from time to time I forgot. And when I remember and put that first, I'm able to give so much more. So on the flip side, imagine, what if you don't change? What if you don't take that next step? What if you don't make that appointment with me? What if you don't start loving yourself? What is your life going to look like? Are you going to be on 15 or more pills now? Are you going to be spending a lot of money on medications and supplements? Are you going to be in and out of the hospital, in and out of the physician's office? Are you going to be a burden to your family? You don't want that. So take that step right now. You only get one life. Take the time now, right now, to make that next step and make it count. This is Dr. Melissa, the Medicine Woman. Thank you for tuning in. Take care and have a wonderfully healthy, healthy day.